Hi, welcome to the WFcats channel. Everyone knows that America, or the United States of America, is the world's #1 economic and military superpower. So, besides that, is there anything else interesting about America? Let's find out through the video. Interesting facts about America that will blow your mind. Nuclear suitcase. Perhaps you know that a nuclear suitcase or nuclear football is a suitcase with the necessary equipment for the U.S. president to deploy an atomic attack anytime and anywhere in the world. Indeed, immediately after the Cuban Missile Crisis in October 1962, an event in which the Soviet Union and Cuba secretly built and deployed a number of medium-range nuclear ballistic missile systems with the ability to slap America's ass. President John F. Kennedy, at that time, was concerned that Soviet officers in Cuba could order a nuclear attack on the United States without permission from the capital Moscow. At the same time, he also wished that he could deploy such attacks anytime and anywhere. And from that moment on, the legendary nuclear suitcase was born. Of course, you will not be able to find any analysis or video review of the U.S. president's nuclear suitcase. However, a former military director in the White House said the nuclear suitcase contained 4 items, including a black book with retaliation options, a book with addresses of nuclear bunkers, a set of papers instructing the procedures for using an emergency notification system that helps the President of the United States warn all American citizens about a nuclear attack through mass media devices, and finally, the confirmation code, also known as the nuclear launch code, which is considered top secret and indispensable if the U.S. president wants to launch a nuclear attack on any country. However, for 15 years, from 1962 to 1977, the code with the ability to start World War III or even wipe out humanity did not change. Not only that, but it was also extremely simple and easy to remember. 000000000.
Measurement system in America. The United States is one of only 3 countries in the world, besides Liberia and Myanmar, that does not use the metric system of measurement or international system of units like the rest of the world. Obviously, America became the only superpower that did not use the metric system with the familiar units in our daily life. More specifically, the American system of measurement is called United States Customary Units, a system of measurement developed from the imperial system used in the British Empire before the United States became an independent country. Accordingly, Americans use inches instead of centimeters, feet and yards instead of meters, miles instead of kilometers, and from there, they also have some unique units of volume and area measurement such as square inches, square feet, cubic inches, or cubic feet. Similarly, they have arse instead of hectare, gallon instead of liter, ounce instead of gram, pound instead of kilogram, long ton, short ton instead of ton, and use degrees Fahrenheit instead of degrees Celsius. And that is the reason why when the temperature in America reaches 100 degrees, Americans will feel very comfortable, but people in other countries start to overcook and fragrant. The most dangerous job. In your opinion, what is the definition of a dangerous job? Simply, is a job with a high on-the-job death rate. So, which job do you think is the most dangerous job in America? Let's see. Statistical data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that there are some jobs in America that seem easy but are unbelievably dangerous. For example, agricultural workers have a workplace fatality rate of about 20 per 100,000 workers, equivalent to a rate of about 0.02%. The truck driver has an on-the-job fatality rate of 27 per 100,000 drivers, equivalent to 0.07%. Garbage collector, surprisingly, has an on-the-job death rate of 44.3 deaths per 100,000 workers, or 0.044%. Slightly higher, for every 100,000 workers working on the roofs, about 50 people will die while working. Ranked number 3 in the statistics is the pilot profession with a death rate while flying of 58.9 cases per 100,000 pilots. Second place belongs to fishermen, when out of every 100,000 people, nearly 80 people do not return after fishing trips. And finally, the most dangerous job in America belongs to logging workers when for every 100,000 workers, 111 people suffer the same fate as the trees they are sawing. And if the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics expanded the statistical scope a bit, the most dangerous job in America might belong to the U.S. president. For those wondering, Wikipedia defines a profession as a person's role in society. More specifically, a profession or a job is an activity that occurs regularly and is usually performed in exchange for a payment. Although we all know that no one becomes president just to get a salary, but the U.S. president is still paid a regular salary, about $400,000 per year, plus a grant worth $50,000, a $100,000 tax-free travel account, and a stipend of $19,000 for recreational activities per year, so it would not be an exaggeration if we consider the U.S. presidency as a profession. And despite being protected from head to toe by tons of black-shirted secret agents traveling in armored and modern vehicles like the Beast or flying on Air Force One and Marine One helicopter, but out of the 45 people who have served as President of the United States, except for the current President of the United States, Joe Biden, up to 8 people have died while in office, equivalent to a death rate of 17.8%. Yes, 8 out of only 45. Among these, up to 4 people were assassinated, including the 16th President, Abraham Lincoln, 20th President, James A. Garfield, 25th President, William McKinley, and 35th President, John F. Kennedy. The remaining 4 were the 9th President, William Henry Harrison, who died of pneumonia, the 12th President, Zachary Taylor, who died of acute gastroenteritis, the 29th President, Warren G. Harding, who died of a heart attack, and the 32nd President, Franklin D. Roosevelt, died of a cerebral hemorrhage. Sounds scary, right?
Other interesting facts. Every day, Americans eat an amount of pizza with a total area of 0.4 square kilometers, which means to eat a pizza that have the exactly same size as the total area of the United States, 9,833,520 square kilometers. Americans would need to eat for about 24,583,800 days, or 67,352 years. The American flag be considered as a beautiful flag with 13 equal horizontal stripes alternating red and white, symbolizing for 13 colonies won from the British Empire in 1776 and later on became the first 13 states of the America. The left corner of the flag is a rectangle with a blue background, symbolizing for consolidation, with 50 small white stars, symbolizing for the current 50 states of the United States of America. Surprisingly, the American flag is very beautiful and meaningful, but it only scored a B- in an American flag design competition in Lancaster, Ohio in 1958. Fortunately, it was upgraded to an A after became the official flag of the United States in 1959. New York was the capital of the United States from 1785 until the 1790 residency law decided to choose Washington, D.C. or Washington District of Columbia as the capital of the United States. This name is in honor of 2 persons, namely George Washington, America's first president, and Christopher Columbus, who discovered Americas. However, it should be noted that Washington, D.C. and state of Washington are not the same state as you might think. In fact, Washington State is located in the northwest of the United States, has an area of 184,827 square kilometers, and is home to the Boeing Everett factory, the largest factory in the world. While the capital, Washington, D.C., is essentially a federal district, so it does not belong to any state, and therefore Washington, D.C. only has an extremely humble area, 117 square kilometers.
If you were asked what is the official language of the United States, WFcats bets that most of you would answer is English, which is likely true because a census in 2010 found that up to 80% of people in America from 5 years old,
about 230 million people, speak English at home. However, at the federal level and in official documents, the United States does not have an official language. Obesity is defined as a condition in which excess body fat accumulates to a level large enough to cause adverse health effects. More specifically, a person is considered obese when the body mass index, or BMI, the ratio between body mass and the square of height, exceeds 30 kilograms per square meter.
Accordingly, up to 41% of Americans, more than 136 million people, are obese, and the record for the heaviest woman ever also belongs to the United States with a peak weight of about 302 kilograms. A survey in 2011 and 2012 found that, on average, a person eats about 14.5 kilograms of chicken per year, which means that over 7 billion people at that time consumed about 55 million chickens every day. 20 billion 75 million chickens each year, and 45% of that, about 9 billion chickens, were eaten by Americans. People often say that America is a sexually open country, and perhaps they are right because up to 40% of babies in America are the result of having sex before marriage. In the US, Valentine's Day is also National Condom Day, and WFcats will let you ponder this fact for yourself. There are nearly 5,000 people with the same first and last names in America, the most common of which is Thomas Thomas. And finally, in August 2016, a 9-year-old dog named Duke was elected mayor of the town of Cormorant, Minnesota, USA. It is worth mentioning that this is his third term. And that is the end of the video. Interesting facts about America that will blow your mind. Which one do you think is the most blow-mind fact? Comment if you have any other interesting facts about America. Leave a like and subscribe for more video like this in the future. Thanks for watching and goodbye.